Yep, it is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, otherwise known as Baku. So this is the track where it's kind of a toss-up. You know, I feel like it's one of those sleeper tracks, to be honest. You kind of don't think about it when the season's coming up. You know what I mean? As you know it's coming to the next Grand Prix, you're like, oh, okay. And then it gets there and you're like, oh yeah, there might be some excitement. Now it could be a bore fest, you know what I mean? But Baku has thrown a couple toss-ups our way, so it should be very interesting. Of course, last year, you know, there was the kind of magic that Hamilton wished he didn't have. And also Verstappen, you know, is he finally going to get on that podium and end this kind of just terrible streak that he's had? It's kind of reminiscent of the little Charles Leclerc Monaco kind of thing. Of course, this isn't his home Grand Prix, but, you know, it's Verstappen. He kind of does well everywhere. And this is just one place that he's just, you know, he's had a run of bad luck or some bad magic as well. So we shall see. Now, this is the third longest track on the calendar, so it's pretty interesting. And that main straight, although there is a couple bends in it, it's pretty long. And I think if you saw any of FP1 or FP2, the porpoising, you know, yes, that name is back. It hasn't gone away. Mercedes, yeah, the magical Merc has let me actually show the Merc, right? Has not satisfied their changes and fixing of that situation, along with a few others, like Ferrari. Yes, that's right. So if you saw the driver camera, like the behind the driver's head cam that they have, oh man, Sainz, his head was just smashing up and down. And that was on a yellow flag, I remember watching it, I think early in FP1. And so he wasn't even all out. And it was terrible. It was terrible. So I think that's going to come into a big effect. Now, Verstappen was talking about some wind problems, and you could actually see it. He was porpoising a little bit, but the whole car was kind of flexing a lot in the bumps down the straight. But the back wing, now you already know, Verstappen has already had his problems with the DRS, and the whole ring was just flexing a lot, especially the DRS flap. So one, I was thinking, is he going to get any kind of problems for that? Because I remember, obviously, I forget, what was it, Brazil last year or something, that Hamilton had that issue where, you know, his wing was 82.5 millimeters, and that was a problem. So I don't know if at some point, if he gets checked, does that stretch out? Is it too large because it's flexing already? So that's going to be kind of interesting. Or does he just have a kind of DNF situation or a mechanical issue and just can't use the DRS on the straights? Because he is pretty fast in the straights, especially in Baku. He did all right for FP1 and FP2, but you know, without DRS, it's going to be kind of a problem. So, you know, we'll see. Now, I do want to mention too that we're kind of like in the second leg of the season here. It is getting underway and it's getting exciting. It's been exciting, right? So with that said, one thing I want to talk about that I find interesting is it's kind of like in the media, whoever's on top or second place, it's kind of even been like whoever's in second place, well, they can't kind of, like Verstappen. Oh, well, you know, Leclerc's running away with it. He won 2 races in a row kind of thing. I mean, what do you call it? Perez is only 15 points out of it. I mean, so, you know, Verstappen was able to come back from like a 40-point gap. And we're not even halfway through the season. So I'm not quite sure why a lot of media pundits and like correspondents and broadcasters are just, yeah, well, you know, maybe Perez has a chance, you know, possibly, but, you know, it's kind of just Verstappen and Charles. Like, no, I think a lot of people are still in it. You know, it's a new season. We don't know how the rest of it's going to play out, what kind of mechanical issues people are going to have, what other type of things are going to happen when it starts getting tighter and people start maybe coming together a little bit and shunting each other out of the race. Yeah, just so especially Perez and even Russell. I mean, he's the same thing, about 40 points, give or take ish, a little more, over 40, I believe, out of it right now. But say Russell, all of a sudden Mercedes cracks the code, and in 2 races from now they just start getting, you know, 1-2, 1-2. Well, it's not going to take long for that 40-point gap to wash away, especially with what do you call it? A teammate like Hamilton, who's probably, if the car's right there, is going to be bang, second or third too. Or maybe Hamilton just starts banging them in and getting those P1s, you know, getting poles and getting P1s, and then Russell's right there. So I find it, you know, especially Especially because you kind of want more excitement. That's what everybody has been wanting. You know, when the title fight came last time, it was, yes, finally, Mercedes isn't going to be just the only one. We need other people in there. And then as soon as we have another person in there, it's like, oh, well, whoever's winning has won it. Why that kind of mentality? Why not, at least for, if anything else, the idea of keeping up the suspense to garner more kind of, clicks and stuff. You know how they, clickbait stuff. And I don't even think it's really clickbait. Don't try to say that. I'm not going to try to say that 10 times fast. But I don't even think it's actually clickbait. But I'm saying if your only motivation is to make, that kind of situation for your business or something, then I would think they would at least do that. So that lends me to believe that they really kind of have that mentality out there that, it's just kind of gone away. And you hear kind of, anecdotal, well, you never know, but, it's a hard thing. Even with Perez, they're kind of like, yeah, it's possible, but, if Perez won the next 4 races and Verstappen wasn't coming P2, then I pretty much think the gap is going to be, because what is it, 25 and then 18, that's 7 points. He wins 4 races in a row, 7, 14, 21, 28, right? So there's the gap right there. I don't know. So I wanted to bring that up. I had to say that, especially when hearing we're finally in the second leg of the race. It is starting to get down. I mean, the season's underway now, that's for sure. But I haven't lost hope that, Russell's still in it. Sainz can still be in it. Perez, of course. And then I even still give it, I think you're crazy. Like I said, you're crazy to doubt on McLaren, the way that they're starting to come back. You're insane to doubt on Lewis Hamilton. You just are. So I'm not counting him out. If the Merc can get it around, you know what I mean? He still has a shot. Now, not as much a shot as some of the other people, but it's still there. And I think it's just, and those 5 right there, 6 or whatever, right? Because also obviously Verstappen and Leclerc. So yes, I think it's going to be very interesting. I haven't written anybody off yet. I've written Latifi off. I'll give you that. But I haven't really written a lot of people off yet. I think there's more than 1 or 2 people in the Drivers' Championship fight. That's for sure. So Azerbaijan, what are your thoughts on this Grand Prix? Leave it down below. While you're doing that, be sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button for me. Yes, that's right. Help me bring more content like this to all of you out there. So with that said, what are my predictions for the Baku? Yeah, let's shorten it up. For Baku, right? Well, I'm going to go Perez. I'm going to go Sainz. I'm going to go Hamilton. Yes, that's right. A little bit of a redemption. And I'm going to go Norris and then Alonso. That's right. I think that's the top 5 right there. And certainly Perez, Sainz, and Hamilton is my podium pick. Now, the bottom 5 rounding out the top 10, I'm going Bottas, Vettel, Ocon, Magnussen, and I'm going to give it to Ricciardo. And it's really not even really giving it to him, because if Norris is banging out P4, which of course this is my predictions, it's not really reality yet, but if he is, yeah, he grabs a point from McLaren, but it's still not where he wants to be. I know he wants to stop being beat by his teammate, and he wants to grab more than 1 point, that's for sure. But, I'm still kind of giving it to him because he's kind of up and down, and, Norris is just bang on consistent, other than, where was it? I can't even think now. Yeah, where he shunted. Gasly, didn't he? Why can't I think of it? Kill me in the comments. Put it down below. Having some YouTube brain farts right here. So anyway, those are my predictions. We shall see. Of course, we got FP3 tomorrow, and qualifying should be very interesting. And yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this race. Like I said, once you're down to Azerbaijan, it's a cool track. It's a nice layout. You got the castle, you got the long straightaway. There's some bumps, some tight, twisty, tight twist in there and so forth. And as I said before, the 3rd longest track. So, there's a lot of ground to cover. So, I'm just interested in seeing it. Of course, any weekend there's a GP. I'm interested. This is F1P1 Life. I'm your host, Sean Kilburn, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.